Thank you for the generosity of your time in answering our questions. As you know, I represent Fairchild Air Force Base, and the tanker and the replacement of the tankers has been on the forefront of my priority list since I arrived in Congress. And for one reason or another, we've seen a number of delays in the process. The KC-135 represents a central piece of war plans to support the United States and its allies around the world. And now Northrop Grumman's chief operating officer has threatened to not bid unless significant changes are made to the tanker requirements. And I think I join with others in just sharing a concern about the potential of further delaying the tanker competition and stretching the limits of these 50-year-old aircraft. So I want to see a new tanker parked on the ramps of Fairchild Air Force Base sooner rather than later. So I wanted just to ask, how are you going to respond to this kind of pressure and change the war fighters' tanker requirements to meet the demands of the competitors?
We've received a lot of comments, including from here on Capitol Hill on the RFP. I think that the final RFP will be issued in a fairly short period of time, and our hope is, I think, a selection in the summer. Yeah, selection in the summer. We hope very much that there will be a real competition. We hope very much that both competitors stay in the competition. But should that not prove to be the case, we have to move forward for all the reasons you cite. It's been delayed too long. We need to get this thing started.
Good to hear. And Admiral Mullen, I just wanted to applaud you for your support of military families, and I know the administration has really taken provided a new emphasis on supporting our military families, and the Department of Defense likewise. We are seeing the impact of multiple deployments on our military families, and I'm hearing from families across the country about mental health issues. What are we going to do to increase access and utilization of mental health services for our military families?
Well, again, it's been a priority for this department for several years. We have more than tripled the number of mental health care providers in recent years, but we're still far short of what we need. I talked earlier about the whole issue of we've got to address internally to the military and families. Deborah, who's here today, hears from spouses all the time about the stress they're under, and it's not PTS, but there are PTS-like symptoms associated with that, and many of them have said that they're worried about raising their hand for fear that it may impact on their husband or their wife's career as well. So an awful lot of effort going after this. Where I am on this is we've got to start producing a higher capacity output to address this issue, and it's a very, very complex issue. And I'd also like to thank you and Mr. Bishop for standing up the Military Family Caucus. That's a big deal, and it will focus issues and do so in a way that is fed by your concerns, and you're reaching out to families to get information about what's going on, allow us all to continue to press forward to make it better for them, because they are so important.
Can I add briefly?
Yes, please.
I think an exciting experiment the Army is trying to screen members who are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan for mental health disorders over either the internet or video teleconference to make greater use of health professionals. They tried it in an experiment at Tripler. Worked out quite well. A lot of the younger soldiers really liked it because they're so used to working over the internet, and it would allow greater use or better utilization of health professionals. So I think they plan to expand that. It's a good idea, forward thinking.
Great, thanks. And Admiral Mullen, and to your wife, Deborah, I do appreciate your leadership and your support of providing the support for our military families that is so desperately needed. And with that, I'll yield back.
Ma'am, the only thing I'd add on top of what Mr. Hale said is there has been more than one result from what I would call anonymous counseling. In other words, over the internet, don't know who the counselor. It is a way to get at the stigma piece. And I'd like to see us expand that in a way where we can reach a larger number.
Well, I think there's some exciting technology with the, we've done the virtual recruiters. Maybe we can do virtual counselors and, protect the soldier themselves. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.